So hello everybody, it's nice to see you all. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ruth Wilkinson and I am from the Consult Centre. So I'm just going to look at a little screen here to make sure that we're going live okay. And then I will start, and I really hope there are some people online this morning. So will you let me know if you are? So I'm going to have a little screen that's at the side here that allows me to be able to see if you're commenting and if you're asking any questions. And I have got some questions to go through as well in advance. So if you can let me know that you can hear me and that it's all working okay, that would be great. I don't see any reason why not, but you never know. So firstly, thank you to Ruth for inviting me to be part of this weekend. It's been fantastic so far. I've been watching Claire and Sylvia, I think Lynn, Kate, Jane. There was some great talks yesterday, particularly listening to Kate's around working from home because it's very relevant to me right now. And also to Lynn in terms of presenting and talking, and Claire in terms of branding and logoing. So it was absolutely brilliant actually to watch and to be involved. So I have got some questions that are in advance. I will probably be online for about 40 minutes or so, or I may only be online for 10 minutes, depends whether or not people get involved and are interactive in providing really some questions and some questions so that I can help. So a little bit probably just to get all that stuff out the way, who am I and why should you listen to me? Excuse me, which I totally understand. So my name is Ruth Wilkinson. I run a company called the Consult Centre, which has about 5 or 6 of us in there, and we operate as a PR agency. So you can find us online. You can find us at our Consult Centre. You can find us at the LinkedIn site there, and our details are there. And also we've got a small business group, which is a free group that people can join for help and support. Just got Ruth asking me if I'm online or not. I'm just going to check and let her know that I am. Okay, maybe she says she can't see me, but I can see myself online, so I know that I'm with you all. Excuse me. So, what are our accreditations and how do we know what we know? So we are Facebook Pro accredited, Instagram the same because the 2 companies own one another. So I'm sure you know that by now. And they've also bought WhatsApp and some other aspects of social media as well. We work with Google as part of their Google Pro accredited community. So we do a lot of work on Google Analytics, Google My Business, and setting up people to make sure they're getting the maximum responses. We work with WordPress and Wix, so we design and build, and we form part of their consumer council to make sure that the updates are being done correctly and that people are getting the support that they need. And we also work with LinkedIn as part of their accredited program as well. And Twitter, yeah, we kind of are Twitter pros, but in essence, there is no real accreditation for Twitter. So we work with them and we are trained to work on Twitter as such, but we've passed different accreditations, but they don't necessarily hold a program themselves. So what else do you need to know, I suppose, about us? We work on lots of different platforms. So I'm going to show you what those platforms are and what some of the support is that we do. So what do I do in terms of part of the owner of that company? I'm a coach. I am an accredited coach, having worked with the European Coaching and Council. What's that matter? Well, why does it matter to us? It's because it's an accredited. I have a master's in coaching and mentoring, but I also am part of the European Mentoring and Coaching Council because that keeps us all ethical and keeps the industry that we all work in. And there's several other different federations that people may be members of too. I also create and do coaching supervision for them and run their training programs, and I'm a member of the British Association of Counselling and Psychotherapy. I lecture at the University of Cumbria on coaching and mentoring, and I lecture at Morecambe and Lancaster Business School as part of digital skills. So that's enough about all of that stuff. What can I help you with today? I can help you with things like Facebook, your Facebook pages, your business pages, Instagram, YouTube. We create and manage YouTube channels for our clients. LinkedIn as a personal profile, Twitter as a company profile, and LinkedIn as a showcase or company page. Not many people necessarily do that. We help to edit and create podcasts. We do video production, and we do an awful lot of work, as I say, with Google and their accounts. And we are Wix and WordPress. We build websites, and we also take in people's websites that aren't performing very well, give them a refresh and put them back out into the world. And we also work with MailChimp and creating MailChimp, and we work on things like Canva and brochure production and all that kind of thing. So good morning, Ellie. Nice to see you. And Ruth also, she's also watching too, so that's good. So I'm here for a little bit of time to help answer your questions. So whether it is YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Facebook groups, how do you get engagement? How do you operate them? What's the best way to set them up? How do you optimize a Facebook page? It might interest you to know that most businesses use 10% of what Facebook business has available in terms of its settings and functions, because they use it as though they're a consumer and they only see parts as though they are a consumer. So as the Facebook Pro, we work heavily with Facebook. We get all their latest releases, and we work to create optimized pages. And if you've noticed over the last 2 days, if your Facebook's been playing up, that's because they've been releasing huge update and software releases. So things are starting to look different for certain people and behave differently. And in some cases, not behave properly at all because they've got some faults and some bugs. So the first tip is, if it's bothering you today or it was bothering you yesterday, it's more than likely because it's a software update and it's nothing that you're doing wrong. And I can help to answer any questions on Wix today, WordPress, podcasting, MailChimp, all those kind of things. So I'm really just at your disposal. I have had some questions in advance, but only a couple, which might make this a very quick session. So I really would ask if you would like to get involved and put some comments on. So because I'm coming into this group via Zoom, there's a slight lag in terms of what I'm telling you now and what you're seeing in terms of being broadcast, about 4 to 5 seconds lag. So I will look down this way when I'm looking at the broadcast on an iPad to see whether or not there are any questions that are going to be coming up. But yeah, if you've seen my video yesterday, I can't tell you enough about how I don't want to hear myself drone on for 40 minutes, and I'd much rather be answering your questions and offering you some help. So I'm going to stop this screen share because you've seen all of that. All I would say is that if you do want any help after I've finished, so you're watching this on a replay and you have any questions, my details are at the bottom there. If you want to contact us in the office, you can do on that number, or if you want to contact us to ask any help or advice, then please do. If you want to join any of the groups, then please do. You know, we've got groups that are free and have loads of free videos and help and handouts and downloads and all sorts of stuff. And if you go to the website, there's loads of free resources on there, and there's loads of PDFs that you can download. Best times to post, what to post, how to post content, audience demographic targeting, all sorts of stuff that might help you. And it's all free, so you can take advantage of that. And Lynn, hello, Lynn. I was watching your speaking presentation before. It's fantastic. What can we do to maximize the interaction of the members on the mothership? Great question to start with. Let's stop sharing that. Okay. So Ruth has asked, what can you do? I think one of the things is that maximizing membership is also about who is in the membership. So, excuse me, one of the first things is that we find a lot of our clients, when they have Facebook pages or they have Facebook groups, they ask other people to invite. So they ask the members to invite other people into the groups, and people do that because they think they're helping. But when they do that, they're actually inviting people that haven't joined for a specific reason, and they didn't necessarily have a driver to join. So one of the first things will be to slim down whatever and whoever is in there, whether or not they are interactive. So the first thing is, have you got a large group, but have you got people in there who have joined because they were asked to join, but not necessarily because they were active members? So that's probably one of the first things. And one of the things you can do is go to the insights and look at on the insights, who are your most active and engaged members and when. So that's one side of it. Also look at when are the most popular times that people want to see things happening. So asking the audience, when is the right time to go live? When do they want to see that activity, and when do they have time to be able to watch it? Definitely one of the things that I would do in terms of groups. I would also ask the audience, create a poll inside of the group. So ask them what it is that they want to see, ask them what would be helpful for them to be involved in, and have key themes. And I know, Ruth, you've done loads of work on your group, so you've probably got a lot of this in there already. But it is things like, you know, what's the main theme of every Monday? What's the main theme of every Tuesday? You know, why is a Wednesday particularly important? You know, when do we have a Q&A session? When do we not have a Q&A session? When do we have topics on particular areas and when do we not? And putting a lot of that information in the resources. Also creating regular events that are within the page, in the group page, that you can create regular events and ask people to confirm that they are attending to those events. And then the other parts of that are education. So guest speakers, just like you're doing now, lots of keynote work. So if you're doing all of those things and that engagement is dropping, it's either around the audience, or sorry, not dropping, but not being as high as you want. It's either about the audience, or it's also about the fact that the timing might be not convenient for most people. You will never get it right for everybody. People have different lives doing different things. But it would be ideal if you could look at when the peak times of engagement are and do your main activities when those peak times are. In addition to that, you might want to look at things like, for example, a book club. So you might have a book recommendation. Someone comes on and says, okay, this is a great book that I read. This is why I read it. I think it'd be really helpful. And they pick out certain points and they suggest that to other people to read. You might have people who are responsible as part of the monitors of your group. So there's you as the admin, Ruth, but there are other people in the group who are part admins. So you might have a part admin who is there to put in TED Talks, for example, that might be relevant. You might have somebody who goes in and puts YouTube videos in that people might feel are relevant to the theme of the group. You might have somebody who suggests podcasts. And these are all different people that are coming on and helping you share the load of making that group more interactive. So it's almost having a trusted committee, if you will, of 4 or 5 other people. And you can rotate those roles. So it might be that you have Facebook admins that are managing all the time and they're permanent, but you might have rotation roles where you invite people to take the controls for 2-3 weeks each time, and then it rotates to somebody else. And it's really good because it basically kind of freshens up the content all the time because people come in with different views and so on. And one of the main things that's really important is answering comments. So when people say hello, you answer it back. When people ask a question, it's answered back. Facebook does monitor inside of groups and it looks for groups that have the highest engagement, and it does optimize posts and news feeds. So there you go. There's probably a few things there. I hope that might have helped, Ruth. You need to let me know if is helping. Is it possible to replicate what we have on Facebook on LinkedIn? Yes, you can create a group on LinkedIn. You absolutely can. You can also create a company page on LinkedIn. So if you've got a LinkedIn profile, you are able to create a group or an association that people are involved in, and it can be private and people will join it. And you can also create a company page. And a company page is like a showcase page, which allows you to publish events, publish articles, information. You can download the videos of people going live on Facebook and you can upload them into the LinkedIn group. So absolutely, there's definitely a way to do that. And it's just a case of sitting down and setting up a group and setting up a business page as well to go with it. Would love to know how to make really attention-grabbing posts on LinkedIn. Lynn, it's videos, really, and you can do those because I've watched yours. There are 3 different ways in LinkedIn. So you can do an update on LinkedIn, or you can do an article on LinkedIn, or you can do a video on LinkedIn. So the main engagement is when an article is accompanied by a video or by a really attention-grabbing graphic. So it's branded, it's sized, its dimensions are correct, it's not overly wordy, and it has a very impactful image on it. So you absolutely would start with the aesthetic appeal of whatever content you're going to put on, because platforms are becoming more digital, more, yes, more around the content look as much as the content, the actual article, the content of what it is. So people are short of time and short in attention, and they are moving predominantly to app usage rather than desktop usage. And my best indicator I can give you, if you've got your phone and you can't grab their attention in the time it takes them to swipe up and swipe down, which even if you had a very lazy finger is about 3 seconds, that's where you lose the attention. So you're not going to grab them by words, you're going to grab them by imagery or video. So anything that you do, you would go along with the idea of that 3-second swipe rule. When it comes to video, 7 seconds. So your video can be a lot longer than 7 seconds, but in the first 7 seconds, you have to let them know why they should stay around or stick around to watch a video. And that's the same on Insta, LinkedIn, YouTube, Google My Business, and Facebook. So an example of that would be, my name is Ruth Wilkinson. This session is going to last about 10 minutes. The main purpose of this session is I'm going to teach you about community, and I'm going to teach you about connection on Facebook. And the reason that it will be so helpful for you is it will help to improve your social media connection. And then you go into whatever it is you're going to do. So that I need to have a purpose and an aim and a reason to continue to engage and watch you, rather than getting about 3 or 4 minutes in, or 30 seconds in if you're lucky probably, and someone thinking, I have no idea what this woman's talking about. And I've done that before now, so I am as guilty as anybody else, definitely. Okay, what is the best platform to use to make the best of our conversation with the crew videos so we can add graphics and contact details? So Ruth, the best one to use is Zoom. The best way to do it, because what you'll talk about there is after edit. So if you're wanting to go live on do a Zoom like this, so like I would do now, I would record this Zoom even though I was broadcasting. Or if I forgot to record it, I would go into the group later and I would download the video, which is what I'll do after I've done this one. I'll then move that into an editing suite. So as a company, we use Final Cut Pro, or we use Adobe Work. And I would add the branding on, and I would make sure that I cut it down so it's really punchy, so that we don't get gaps in between, the camera moving between people. So it's a case of almost watching it back and just editing and cutting it out. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You could probably do it on iMovie, to be fair, if you're an Apple user, because it's not a bad piece of kit and it allows you to what's called blade and cut. And then you take probably something probably was 15 minutes down to 10 minutes, and it's punchy. You download it and then you can upload it to YouTube. You can do a private list on YouTube, so only people that you choose to show it to can see it. You can do that on LinkedIn as part of your group and your membership. You can do that on Facebook. You can do it on Insta TV. Has to be over a minute and normally under 30 or 60, depending upon what level of pro account you've got. So you could actually repurpose all the same content onto all the different platforms. So you're capturing people. The only thing I would guard against there is you can water down your audience, because if you don't draw them all into one place for engagement, you can end up with a bit here and a bit there and somebody else here and somebody else there. So it's a good idea to do it in the sense that you are absolutely, you're going to put it in different places, but you want to put some in others and you keep everything in one. So that example would be, you've got a brilliant Facebook group already, Ruth. You keep that as being the main place where all that information takes place. And you put every so often, you might put 2 minutes of that 10-minute video. And then on there, you would say, to watch the rest of this video and see more content, join blah, blah, blah. And you put your group link in for Facebook and you pull them in. So imagine putting them on different platforms is more around, the analogy would be you're chucking the net out wide, but then you're going to drag it back in again. So it's a way of advertising yourself on different platforms. So same on Insta, same on LinkedIn, the same on other areas of Facebook, same on Twitter, actually, same thing on Twitter and Google My Business and the other areas, and then bring them into Facebook. If LinkedIn's your main platform, same principle, you switch it around and you're dragging people into the LinkedIn platform. But yeah, iMovie, make them really short and punchy, and then you can put the graphics on afterwards, definitely. What else might there be on here? So, morning with, how long do you think videos should be? So it depends what it's about. If you put a little bit more, information on there, I might be able to answer you. Lynn, same as the speech, less attention than a goldfish. Answer to the audience. What's in it for me? Question. Absolutely. Not the platitudes of well-being and the weather. All about the audience, not the speaker. Couldn't be more in agreement with you. Other than the first time you do it, you do need to tell people what your credentials are and why they need to listen to you. Once you've gone past that bit, you don't need to keep repeating it. But definitely, Lynn, girl after my own heart. Absolutely true. I can't tell you how many times people, and I get asked a question, end up turning it back to themselves when I watch Q&A. If you're also going to go live and you're going to do a Q&A and you're bothered that no one's going to come on and no one's going to ask you any questions, and by the way, that's a hint to ask me some more questions, you can prepare some of your own questions. As daft as this sounds, you can prepare your own questions. So you can prepare stuff that you get regularly asked and say, I've got a question from XYZ, Betty, doesn't matter, and you ask and answer. So you've got this contingency reserve. Don't necessarily always rely on the fact that you might, you may or may not get engagement. So people get nervous a lot about going live. What if nobody watches me? What if nobody interacts? I'm going to be sat talking to myself. I'm not going to have anything to say. Well, you absolutely do have something to say because you've got years of experience. So write 10 of your most frequently asked questions. And if nobody else is coming on, you just work through those questions. It gives you some structure. It gives you a bounded kind of set of topics, and you can plow ahead confidently and answer some of those questions. What new functionality has Facebook recently added and what can we use? It's more about the look and feel of it and the creator studio, actually. So if I probably shared some of this screen, I might show you some of this stuff and maybe that might help you a little bit more. So I'll just share the screen and I'll show you into. So this is our Facebook page. We've got a Facebook page in a group. And at the moment, you're looking at this as an administrator. So when you first go into your page, you will see all of these things at the top. You know that you're in there as an admin when you see those things. A very good tip for you straight away is that if you want to see how people are seeing your page if they are not an admin, in other words, if they're a standard consumer, you've got this area here. On that area there, you are able to access the quick menu. This quick menu allows you to do lots of things rather than going up into this settings area. But one of the things it lets you do is view as page visitor. So when you look at this, you will be able to see what your page looks like to somebody who is accessing it in a consumer view. So you can look at all of your tabs to being in the right order. You can look at all of this information here and you can see what they see. And have you got these things in the right order? Did you know you can reorder those tabs? Did you know that you can reorder the tabs down the side of your Facebook page to give people what you want to see them to see first? And did you know that if you reorder these tabs, it delivers the information here in the same order as the tabs? So what do I mean when I say that? If you look at here, it's got home, about, services and posts, and then reviews. If you now look at the way that my content is delivered, I've got the home and about section here. It then comes to my services, so services here. It then comes to my posts, posts are here. It gives a couple of first posts, and then it goes on to my reviews. And then after reviews, it goes on to my notes section. So I don't know whether people have got a notes section or they've known to program a notes section, but that's another part of Facebook that you are able to use and gain access from. So you can actually program all this stuff down the side if you want to. And all of these things are available to any Facebook administrator on your actual page. So if you want to change the order for going back, and I'll show. So Ruth just asked, how do you change the order? Here's settings. You go into your settings. In your settings, you've got a whole host of stuff. If you're seeing this for the first time or you haven't spent a lot of time in here since you last set it up, I guarantee you're using 20% of what Facebook pages can do for your business. So it's really important that you do go through that. I won't have time to do all that today, but I'll maybe speak to Ruth offline about whether or not you want me to help you with that. But one of the places to go is templates and tabs. So fourth one down. And when you click a tab here, it opens a different set of options here. One of the questions often get asked is, or asked, I don't have that function. It's that this side changes this side. So if I went to templates and tabs, you'll see that it will now download what template I'm currently using in my business or for my business page. And it gives me a whole list of tabs. So to answer Ruth's question, if I wanted to make changes and I wanted to change how these things looked, I would just get hold of it. So right now we've got events, say under videos, and I would move it. If I wanted photos, I would move it. So that's as simple as it is. If I then go to my page, you will notice two things have happened. The page order has changed. So I've now got photos up here and I've got events further up. But more importantly, if I now go to this section, you will notice that the content is delivered in a different order to your consumer. So you've now still got services at the top, but when I go down, I've now got photos first. And then I've got posts, and then I've got recommendations, and then I've got notes. So that's how you would do it. Let's go back and change those right, because one of the things that people often ask is what order should they be in? My advice to you would be that you need to think about credibility and building credibility. So one of the first things ought to be when you look at this is around when you do look at it, is most people want to know, who are you? What do you do? Are you active? And are you any good at it? So on your page, I would say as a standard, the rest of them you can move around depending on what type of business you have. If you're a very visual business, you're a crafter, you're a creator, you're a designer, any of those things, you might have imagery further up at the top. But you absolutely need to let them know who you are, what you do, your posts, and whether or not you're any good at it. Can you create your own tabs? You can, if you have over a certain following. There is a piece of programming that you can do and go in and you can create your own tabs. Yeah, you can. You can do things where you have a window into your into your website, and it links to other accounts and things. So an example of that would be here. If you were to go to our website, we can have people actually operate our website from within our Facebook page. So it allows them to whiz around and go through all of our tabs without leaving Facebook. It's ideal because it certainly helps us to garner more interest, definitely. Have I got any other questions from anybody while I'm doing this? I did have some other questions, which were article on LinkedIn. So somebody asked, yeah, Lynn asked about the article on LinkedIn, I think. What else did I have? What's the best way to share to get attention to an article? So one of the things that I have been asked around it is LinkedIn in terms of how do I get the most engagement? So the first thing would be, is all of your profile filled out properly? Have you got your interests? Have you keyworded your profile? So if I was to go onto LinkedIn, I'm just going to stop share that while I do it for you, and I'll show you some stuff inside of LinkedIn. And that way I can kind of show you live environments then. So if I just screen share, okay. So this is my LinkedIn platform. This is my personal platform. And then here I would have my company page as well. So it's operated from being attached to the same platform. So you've got two main things that are different. You have the ability to write an article or start a post. A post is very simple, and it's also got a limit in terms of its keywords. So it will prevent you from doing anything that is too long. And that's because it's meant for that very short attention span that I talked to you about earlier. You can still, however, add a photograph, you can add a video, and you can also add some form of PDF or download. So that's a really good way to operate. But if you wanted to do something that was really credible, you would write an article, and you get this, which is a blog headline. And that gives you an independent link. So at the top, it will create a link. So if I was here and I was wanting to put, you know, for example, you will start to see at the top of here, it's going to start to create an individual link now. And I can put a header in here. So I could choose something that I wanted to put in. I could choose a particular image or whatever, but I might also want to add things in whilst I'm in here. So I might be doing something about the fact that I've been helping on this particular session this morning. So I might put parts in about the She Network, but I might make that smaller so that I can type and put wording side. I might choose to put or share in a link. I might want to put a YouTube link in. So I might go to the consult center, and I might then look at the channel itself, and I might say, right, okay, actually, I'm going to look at the particular channel, and I'm going to get one of the recent Q&A sessions.
Good afternoon. We're live.
And in doing that, I'm going to take this link, move it, put it into here, and potentially bring a video link in. So there's loads of different things that you can do. And you can also, so you'll see there that means that when people play that, it plays inside of.
Okay, so we are
LinkedIn. So you're not moving people from platform to platform. So however you wish to do it, there is a way to do it. So after this session, you know, if you wanted to build this network, for example, might want to download all the videos that have gone on over this weekend and create an article on LinkedIn and put all of the links in, and then put a link underneath that says, if you want to join our group, click here and invite people in. Really, really, it's professional, it looks clean, it looks slick, and it's not a status update. So if I wanted to create something on here, you know, about that was a header, you know, I'd probably go into Canva. I would download a header that I've probably already created. So we've got like a gazillion of them because we do an awful lot of work for other clients. But, you know, getting Canva will probably help your life hugely because it can enable you to professionalize and brand everything, and not everybody is able to afford, you know, huge branding and logos and stuff. So it's so much, you know, this stuff's available to you, and you can just have a go at it. And if you need any help, I'm sure that I can arrange stuff with Ruth where I'll come in and I'll help you. So I've now got a title. I can, if I make a mistake, I can take things out. I don't need to worry. You know, you can play with it and you can save it. You don't have to go ahead straight away, and you can publish it later. So that's one of the ways it would be. Michelle, I don't think I've just wrote in my tabs and added group, which I've been trying to do for ages. Go on, Michelle. Well done. Perfect. Somebody else asked me around how do you, like I say, drive people to one area. The other thing I would do is I would do the article and I would publish it in, if it's LinkedIn you want to drag them to, publish it in LinkedIn. And then I would take the first 4 lines of that article and I would publish them on your Facebook page. I'd take the link to the article from LinkedIn and I would literally put the first 4 lines in and then ... read more. And when they click it, it's going to take them to LinkedIn. And I would do that same process on, not on Insta because you can do it on Twitter if your character count allows you to do it. So Twitter, Facebook, any groups that you're in on Facebook, on your website if you want to send somebody somewhere else. You can do that, and it's driving traffic to one place always. So you can, I mean, that's one of the things I was asked, I think, I can't remember by whom, but, you know, being able to funnel people into one place. One of the really key things is, however, is to decide which primary platform you're going to put your content on, because this scatter going to put everything everywhere is great at first, but then you have to drag it back because just the time and effort it takes, and that you've got some people that are members on one platform, not on another, the members on everything. Well, then you're doing a lot of work to communicate to the same people. So it's choosing where that platform, which platform is your most powerful place to be, and using everything else as a feeder system into that one place. I've before now advised clients to close groups, to shut pages down, because they are just putting too much work and effort into too many places. And people worry about that. And they'll say to me, well, I'm bothered because what if I lose all those people? Well, my answer normally is, if you give them long enough and a reason why they need to leave one and join another, if they're not making that move, they're probably that section of your audience that's not creating your engagement in the first place, and therefore dragging all of your engagement information and stats down. Hope that helps you. Can you add a shop to a Facebook group? No, you can't, unfortunately. On a Facebook group, you could create a link, but you can't add a shop. What you can do, let me think of a way around it. You can't program tabs into groups, unfortunately. So you would have to put links in more than anything else. You'd have to put links in to allow people to go. You can create an album, potentially. So if you went into groups and you were to create an album, and then in that album, under each item, you put a link back to where things could be sold, you could do that. So in your photo section, you can probably create an album here. That album is your shop. And if that album is your shop, and then in each item description, you've got the link for that particular item to where else they're going to buy it, whether it's a subscription or it's a product or it's a t-shirt, a mug, or whatever it might be. You can do it that way, so that it ends up, and you can title that album as being the shop, and then people know where to go for it. Where can you create and save posts to save at a later date? So Chrissy, I'm going to assume that you have a Facebook page, that you're looking at that as a business page. You can do that. So let me take you back to ours and I'll show you where it is. So this would be your view. They change all the time here, what's available. I absolutely, if you've got a Facebook page, would suggest this is not the place to be posting. Leave that for your visitors when theirs appear down the side. Where you want to be is in this section. Let me just annotate and change that. So you need to be up here. So you've either got more, depending on how many tabs you've got, or you'll just have something that says publishing tools, and it's here. So you need to spend your time in publishing tools. That's where everything should be created, not in your front page. You can create a post here. You can write all of your information in there. And then you've got this option, which is save as draft. And when you save that draft, you can then go into your draft posts that are here. You can choose it, you can take an action, and you can publish it, or you can schedule it for a later date. If you don't have scheduling or editing software, that would be the way that I would do it. Also all the time. So if some of our client accounts, when we schedule in advance, we do that via some agency software. But if this is the only page that you run, so this example is one of our clients' pages, and we were working in his publishing tools, we would always be in these sections all the time. And that way you can find out your creator studio and stuff like that. So one of the things that Ruth asked me was about what are some of the new developments. They actually brought this out not long ago, to be fair. It's not a very, very recent update, but it's fairly recent. And this allows you to put all your things in one place. So Creator Studio allows you to do some really fancy stuff. So it allows you to do some editing. It allows you to publish to your Instagram account from inside of here. It allows you to publish to your Instagram TV from inside of here if you've got Insta TV. and it allows you to manage all of your mailboxes from one place. So it's really a time saver if you get into doing this. So this particular client, bless him, is a retreat in Portugal, and all of his juice retreats were cancelled for this year because no one can get there. And so, of course, his engagement has dropped considerably, which is really difficult for him. So he's still doing content all of the time, but it's more update content. It's trying to work with people to remind them that he is still there and he's still around. But it's difficult and it's testing. So what is it, 10:41? Are there any other questions? Anybody else got anything that they would like to ask me? One of the other things that you might want to have a think about is how your titling appears. So people will create a header and they'll create a logo. Logo never changes size. It's fine. Logo works every single time. But this bit that's in the middle here, is cut to mobile or for desktop. So the reason ours looks like that, and it's part of our branding, but we've done it on purpose, is because if you looked at that from a mobile, this section here is lost. So I see a lot of businesses that look great on a desktop, but when you look at their header on a mobile, half of their writing or half of their content can't be seen. So if you do nothing else, one of the key things around brand and credibility and all those kind of things is to make sure it looks and feels right. So I would definitely think about whether or not all your headers are in the right places or not. Definitely. Oh my days, how fantastic. Facebook published posts, info you've just shared. That's gold, thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad it's helped you. Do you do Facebook group reviews? Or do you mean, can you do a Facebook group review? You can't review a group. There's no reviews inside of groups, if that's what you mean, Ruth. Is that what you mean? You might just need to expand on that a little bit for me. Yeah, I think that's probably what you're asking. And one of the, actually, that's a really, I'll probably just give you that info while I'm here. A lot of my clients come to me and say, I'm getting reviews, but they're not showing up on my review tab. You are getting a review, but it's because the client isn't putting it on your review tab. So when you say to somebody on Facebook, can you leave me a review? They will normally write it here. Not everybody writes it in the review section as opposed to writing it in here, which is our review area. So if someone says they've left you a review and you can't find it, it's more than likely if you go to the community page, and community means on Facebook that it's where everybody else posts their information. So it's about, if somebody takes a photograph and checks in whilst they're with you, if somebody mentions you, if somebody posts about you or tags your page, this is where you would see it. So when someone thinks they're leaving you a room, leaving you a review, they're going to put it in the community area. So it's a bit of a confusion between you and your client. Sorry. We've done it as a service, look at groups and give advice. Yeah, we do, absolutely. And I'll come on to what we do just before I leave. But yes, Ruth, we do. We set groups up, we optimize them. Some people don't necessarily want to do the work, so we'll do it, but I'll explain that in a second. So what I would suggest that you do for your reviews is go to your reviews tab, and at the top in your URL, you'll see this. Now you don't need anything after this slash. So it is grabbing this part of the page and it's taking it from your reviews here. Oh, come on. It's because I'm too fiddly with what I'm doing. I'm not letting it go fast enough. So from here to there, copy that link and send that to your client if you're asking for a review. That will ensure that they land on this page, and it means that they will give you a review, which means everybody else will see it. Otherwise, it's going to drop into this community page. And the very last bit of advice I'll give you before I tell you about the services is you'll see this post go around about please go to my community tab and invite all your mates to like my page. I can't beg you enough. Please don't do it. Please, please, please don't do it. Don't ask people to do that, People will do it and they'll think they're helping you. And I'm going to explain very quickly why that is a problem. If you've got a page and it's got 500 people that like it, they've chosen to like it. There might be your mum and a few friends and whatever in there, but most people are your customers or your potential customers. And Facebook looks at your page and it looks at how many followers you've got and how much engagement you've got. And it looks at a ratio to see whether you're a popular page or a not popular page. Average for a popular page, actually, don't worry, is around 15 to 20%. If you do that thing where you say, please like my page, and someone goes on and they've got 1,000 mates and they invite all their mates to like your page, you wake up the next morning and you've got loads of new likes. Oh, marvelous, great, loads of people like my page. Or if you're on the receiving end, you wake up and you've been invited to like about 50,000 pages. It really starts to tick you off and puts people off your business anyway. But what happens is, I'll give you an example. So Bob is a butcher and he's based in Blackpool. Help me remember, Bob the butcher from Blackpool. And he asked his mate Jeff to invite all of Jeff's mates to like his page. Jeff lives in Birmingham and Jeff says, yeah, of course, no problem. Invites all of his mates. When he does that, Bob had 500 likes the night before and now he's got 750. He's thrilled. Half of his mate Jeff's mates are vegan. Another few of them are vegetarian. A load of them live in Essex. Some of them live abroad. And a couple of them live within a 10-mile radius of Bob's Butchers from Blackpool. He's just put his engagement through the floor. Because now the 15 or 10% or 20% of people that would have engaged is a higher ratio. So now what happens is your engagement's around 7% and your page looks higher. It's got more people. Facebook thinks your page is not popular. It thinks you've done something incorrect and it drops the reach of your page. Please don't do it. Even though you think you're helping people, the best thing you can do is delete the invite unless you are particularly interested and you want to. If you're a UK-based business that is national and online, fair enough, go for it. But make sure that the friends of the friends are in the demographic of customer that you actually want. Otherwise, you have actually done your page damage, which will take months to recover. So, did you say earlier that you can sell products on the Facebook page that are not on the website? Special offers only available on the page. You can put offers out all the time if you wish to, Chrissy. The only problem being, however, that they need somewhere to be able to pay for it. So they need an e-commerce checkout. So normally you're sending them somewhere else to be able to complete the checkout. Or you're asking them to message you if you want to do it that way, and then you're taking payment by invoice or backs, but you can do offers all of the time, yeah. Can someone leave more than one review, return later to review another service, for example? Unfortunately not. No, they can't. What they can do, however, is send it you. You can put it in a very nice graphic with a quote mark and speech from them and post it. So you could do it that way, Michelle, if that helps you. So just to finish off, because I'm conscious that you've got somebody else coming on at 11, I don't want to take anybody else's spotlight. So Ruth's asked me a couple of things. What do we do? We can take in your pages, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your groups, your Twitter, your Instagram, your YouTube channel, your Google My Business. We can take them in and we can do you an audit review and we can tell you what you need to do to get them performing better if you want to do that. We can take them in, we can refresh, we can optimize them, we can put all the really fancy, clever stuff on them and then give you them back. And then you go away and work on them from there on in. Or obviously there's a part of our clients that come to us and we manage all of their social media for them throughout the lifetime of the product. And we work with them to post as them. So basically nobody knows it's not them that's posting. So we do an awful lot of that. Can we have a look at your website and audit it? Yes. Can we refresh it and update it? Absolutely. Can we build you one? Definitely. And can we help you with your podcasting, your video edits and all that kind of stuff? Yeah, brochure production, anything that's involved in communication to an audience. So if you are bothered about any of those things, or you just want a free bit of advice, or you want some coaching and you want a little bit of help, then yeah, I do 30 minutes of free coaching for anybody who might be interested, just as a bit of a taster. So if you go on the website and you go to the coaching, you can book free coaching, or you can do it via message to me and book in to do some free coaching. So I'm happy to do whatever you wish to help you out. It's part of what this is all about, isn't it? Community and connection, helping each other out. So I think I'm done now. I've talked for ages and I hope that it has been of some help. Please continue to comment. Ruth has asked me to do some work with her as part of the network. So I'm going to produce another ebook and a PDF, which gives you some really top tips, which is free. And Ruth and I will publish that between us, and it'll allow you to have some extra guidance. But if you do want any coaching, any free coaching, then please do contact me. I'm more than happy to. I've got a little bit more time at the moment because I'm remote teaching all my students, my university students, because I'm here. So it's a bit different from going backwards and forwards. So that's me. I'm signing off. I really hope I've helped you. And like I say, I'm here. Message me. I really don't mind. I'll do as much as I can. Everybody needs to help each other. So I look forward to watching the rest of the presenters this Saturday. And I hope that I'll catch up with you all soon. So thanks for watching. Bye.